Bitcoin is wicking. I don't mean to alarm anybody. It's wicking below 10K right now. I thought after this, how many times has it been? After we were all told, on the first time, that was the last time we could buy a 4-figure Bitcoin. I'm just going to count occasions where Bitcoin went back up over 10K and back down again as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, technically, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 times now. I'm mad. I'm genuinely livid. Oh well, that's how it goes. On the bright side, it's more opportunity to dollar cost average at a little bit cheaper. So it's a really weird situation where if it goes up, great. If it goes down when you're buying, great. Everything is fine. Potential insight into the stale price action in Bitcoin that we're seeing right now is this chart, courtesy of someone on Reddit. The top 10 crypto exchanges in terms of web traffic. So this compares last month's numbers to the average of the previous 2 months before that. Everything is down, barring BitThumb, which still has terrible volume anyway, so nah. It was 2 months ago that the numbers were probably inflated, but this is still interesting. Less people are using the exchanges. Well, we can kind of tell that from the price. The Crypto Fear and Greed Index is still showing fear, up from last month's extreme fear. And it seems most of you, the viewers, strongly believe we're going down, at least according to the most upvoted comment on my last video, steering clear of Bitcoin for now. Oh, it's gone. That's strange. Must have deleted it. Now the top voted comment is, I've missed you, Crypto Bi-Weekly. It's been 2 years now. 2 years of hearing these so-called puns. just let me work on it. It'll probably take another 2 years, but I'm working on it. Anyway, the comment said something like, I've sold everything, so we're going down. Or we are going down. And it was obviously a popular opinion, getting so many upvotes so quickly. I don't know if he deleted it because he no longer feels that it's true, but I'm gonna go on a limb and say that's good for Bitcoin, obviously. Speaking of potentially good for Bitcoin, there was a bird on... No, I'm joking. Bakkt is still launching their Bitcoin-backed futures contracts September 23rd. The impact this will have on the market is unknown, as most things are, but widely considered to be a very positive influence because they are backed in actual Bitcoin, not cash, and should provide at the very least some liquidity. As for doomsayers who say they're just going to short the hell out of Bitcoin and then dump it to zero, I don't really think that's very likely. For obvious reasons, right? We just came out of a bear market. Why do it again when they had all of 2018 for that? But anyway. And last week, VanEck came out of left field saying they are essentially fed up with the SEC ETF delays and are launching a loophole to get a like an ETF product right out the gate. And it's been 3 days now. They said they would offer it to, and I quote, large investors. Some large investors. So in case you're not quite sure why an ETF is a big deal for Bitcoin, an ETF is something that tracks an underlying asset. In this case, it would be Bitcoin, obviously, and it's traded on stock exchanges. Ideally, internationally, much easier for many people to buy it that way. And as of right now, we don't have one. So imagine telling a billionaire, hey, you want to buy some Bitcoin? You can't go to the New York Stock Exchange like you have done. You need to go and tell your accountant that, hey, he needs to register an account on Coinbase.com. No, just no. It's too difficult. So an ETF is considered by many to be the real thing that's going to pave way for, let me put the mic down here, institutional adoption. There it is. Sounds like a meme, but there it is. 100K and beyond. We can finally buy our Lambos. Anyway, VanEck's like an ETF product has been out 3 days, as I mentioned, and is currently managing 4 Bitcoin, or $41,400 worth. Not quite what we hoped for. Where are the large investors we were promised? Still, it's been 3 days, give them a break. If they're already managing 4, that's potentially over 1 being added a day. Maybe it can grow and snowball over time, but yes, it is disappointing. Critics reacted coyly after news of the unveiling hit, with industry lawyer Jake Chervinsky arguing the product did not represent a legal ETF, something which remains outlawed by United States regulators. This is misleading. The VanEck Holodex Bitcoin Trust is not an ETF. It looks exactly like the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, which launched almost 6 years ago. Still, it's not all bad news. Enter Mr. Jay Clayton, a fine-looking man, but an SEC chairman. Now, I personally don't like the SEC very much. I doubt you do either. They seem to delay anything positive for Bitcoin. So his remarks are met with some skepticism for some, but here we go. Let's listen to what he's got to say.
SEC Chair Jay Clayton.
No, I thought that was the video. Here we go.
Now, your realm here is a Bitcoin ETF. Are we any closer, or have the people involved in the Bitcoin businesses in any way come closer to satisfying your concerns?
The short answer is yes, but there's work left to be done. Those were not trivial questions. How do we know that we can custody and have a hold of these crypto assets? That's a key question. And an even harder question, given that they trade on largely unregulated exchanges, is how can we be sure that those prices aren't subject to significant manipulation? Now, progress is being made, but people needed to answer those hard questions for us to be comfortable that this was the appropriate type of product.
Fair enough. But just do it already. So that video in an isolated of itself doesn't actually sound too positive, but when you put it in the context of everything that's going on around it, it actually does seem positive. Would you believe him? The original concerns were stated in a memo 18 months ago, but since then, Nasdaq has confirmed it will list Bitcoin futures, while Bakkt is also in line to launch a similar product. Nasdaq's futures products will utilize SMARTS technology, which is known for combating price manipulation and can recognize when an account is wash trading or spoofing. Bakkt, on the other hand, will settle its contracts in Bitcoin. This means that the company has to store and retain custody of the asset, which it is doing in a $125 million insured warehouse in New York. Like a man trying to stop the flow of a river with his hand, can't hold out forever.
Walking on the fighting side of me.
That don't look like it.
It don't. It don't go down.
Robert, it goes down.
No, it don't.
It do go down.
Oh!
Here's hoping it won't be too much longer, so we can get our Lambos, obviously. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again soon. Ethereum's performance versus Bitcoin has been dismal since early 2018. Surely betting on it going up is a bad idea.